Hello. I've checked and we're actually live this time because I remember last time, Andy, we started and then we fucking missed our entire intro. That's not going to happen today.
I
Not
wasn't a big
anymore.
fan of that.
I wasn't. I've written complaints. I've written letters. I've written op-eds in racist newspapers. I'm letting everyone know.
Best way.
What is
I
an
was just.
op-ed?
Is it like an editorial opinion? Is that what it's short for? I don't know.
Why do they need to put the word editorial in it as if that
It's
legitimizes it?
it's your way of saying I know this isn't a newspaper, but I'm not necessarily basing it on facts.
Oh.
It's like, yeah,
And
it's
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 just a
when
coincidence that it sounds like knobhead.
yeah, that's a different page in a different in a different publication.
Different type of magazine entirely.
Yeah. I was just enjoying the fact that when I started typing Shambler into my search bar, I got as far as SHE and then got distracted. And the top recommendations were Sheffield Wednesday, which is fair enough,
Ooh.
and then She's All That, the
Hey,
1999 movie.
she's all that got a Twitch page.
This is just in the
Oh,
search
this is
bar.
just Google.
Just in the search bar. But
Top
yeah,
level.
no, they're not just live streaming that on repeat.
Right. Well, that's very good to know.
Yeah, if you found your way here because you were trying to find the movie She's All That,
We're sorry,
sorry.
but we might not be all that, but we can do something, and that's maybe help you understand the book Moby Dick by Dr. Herman Melville.
Oh, he's the doctor.
I don't know. You tell me. Was he?
No.
He was a sailor for a bit, though. We
Yeah, he's
confirmed
the
that.
doctor of the sea.
Speaking of Doctor of the Sea, I finished playing Return of the Obra Dinn.
Nice.
Confirmed
Maybe. Oh, how spoilery is this going to be in case
Not
I ever
very
want to
spoilery at
watch
all. I will just say
Okay.
I've identified all of the mysteries, and I think it's quite good. And one person made the whole thing, and I think that's insane.
Yeah, it's the guy who made Papers, Please, isn't it?
Which is too sad for me to play, so I don't.
Yes.
That's art.
And
This is making me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to confront this.
that's why we just stick to Moby Dick. We're in a safe space. in
Nothing bad
fiction.
happens.
Nothing bad happens. Despite
got-
the first chapter, bad things might happen.
It's got absolutely zero bearing on real life. There's no, dark reflection where you have to confront your own nature and seeing how the worst parts of a person can bubble up to the surface if you put the right amount of heat underneath their soup. The soup of the soul.
Yeah. No social commentary. It's just
Absolutely. Yeah, this was back from before fiction started being bloody political. God.
yeah, no. It's not like Uncle Tom's Cabin had come out like 3 years prior to it. Maybe 2 years actually. Maybe.
I'm just absolutely intrigued by people who get annoyed at politics in
Oh, it's
fiction.
bizarre. It's absolute bullshit when they're like, have you read any books ever?
Yeah, or even just looked at a picture or
Yes.
read word. Have you ever heard a story? Have you ever fucking done anything in your shitty little life, you fucking bastards?
There's a good anecdote from a history professor where he got asked for an opinion by like some newspaper or whatever about revisionist history and how these historians are always going back and saying, oh, actually, it was like this. And they said, oh, when do you think all this revisionist history started? And he said, oh, probably with like Herodotus, meaning like, ancient Greece.
That's the guy who invented history, folks.
But yeah, well, he wrote a book called History, which I guess fair enough. But yeah, that without missing a beat, the journalist was like, "Can you give me his number?"
Oh,
Yeah,
that's very sad.
yeah.
Well, to get us back on track, this is the stream, or I don't know how you're going to consume this in the end. This is the product where me, an idiot, and Andy, a learned man.
I thought you said me and idiot.
No! Fucking hell.
It kind of applies.
I'm not going to be mean on the internet. Who would do that? Me, an idiot, and Andy, a learned man, discuss, dissect, and then ultimately improve the literary classic Moby Dick.
That's what we're here for.
We're not looking to start any beefs with Moby Dick or the Moby Dick estate, but you never know how your evening's going to turn out, do you? So
Whales are the beefs of the sea.
it's true. Do you know what whale is in Norwegian? Oh wait, maybe this is what whale steak is in Norwegian. Hvalbiff. It's literally called whale beef.
Wow. Wait, is that just that we derive the word beef from
The Norwegian word for whale?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
The Norwegian word for meat?
I think probably people were eating cows before they were eating whales. I'm just thinking about the logistics of it. They're much more accessible.
Depends where you live, though. Like, how long did it take for cows to get around the world? Was Wales?
Well, I guess if you're a Pacific Islander, I don't know if they had cows back then, but based on dairy tolerance around the globe, I'm going to guess they didn't. Have you seen that chart about dairy tolerance in the East?
No.
It's very interesting, and it's because they didn't have like goat farming. We got into cows and goats because basically it turns grass into yummy cheese. Because we can't eat grass, but we can eat yummy cheese. And back in places that didn't have that, they're more intolerant to lactose or milk, whatever. I'm not a scientist. I just look at graphs and draw conclusions. Places where they didn't have that, that's where they got less good cheese capacity in their bodies.
Oh. Is there any payoff? Like, is there something that you're better at if you're more tolerant to cheese?
You live in a nicer place, from what I can tell so far. Weather's a lot nicer and everyone's more chilled.
So that's another graph. It's just people being angry and how much cheese they consume.
I think that'd be pretty interesting. Yeah, stress levels versus cheese. Because cheese gives you gout, doesn't it?
What if it's fake cheese? What if it's just Wotsits? Like, can we do that control study where some people eat Wotsits and some people eat?
I know a lot of people who get angry if they had to eat Wotsits. A lot of posh, crisp, and enjoyers in my life. Let me tell you.
I feel like
I can never remember Emma, my wife. You know her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't like either Wotsits or Quavers, and I can never remember which. And I really like both of them. And I always end up bringing back the wrong one.
But you said she doesn't like either.
No, so she likes one, or she dislikes one of them, and she likes the other. And I don't know which.
If only there was some way to find out.
I just need to keep doing more experiments.
The thing that puts me off is that, and I'd say Wotsits or Quavers, but you know the smell you get if you walk past like a bin, which is it reminds me of school bins. If you walk past like the bins outside the back of a school, did you hang around? Yeah.
I know that.
Did you hang around near the bins at school?
Not as much as other kids, but you know, sometimes I would venture into their territory.
If you go near the school bins, they smell like Wotsits and or Quavers. It's that smell.
I don't know. There must have been different types of bin. Mine just smelled like rubbish.
Well, yeah.
Unless you're getting a bit of a dig in at Wotsits there or Quavers, and you're trying to start Sunday beef with whoever owns that. It's probably Walkers or maybe Kraft with a K. People who ruined cream eggs.
How long before this show is just called Whale Beef, and we don't talk about Moby Dick at all? People just tune in to hear us pick fights.
Those things do numbers on Twitch. Everyone likes to watch someone just be a knobhead.
Oh, what an outlet for anger.
Yeah. A lot of debate me bros.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy's too scared to debate me. And it's like, what's a debate? I don't care. Shut up.
I'd like to call in as a figure from history and just
Oh.
adopt all of their viewpoints and debate them.
Well, like that we had to do when we had to prove Macbeth didn't do the murders.
Yeah, I think I got Macbeth off.
I think
It's
you...
not a sentence I thought I'd say at the beginning of today.
I made my best literary joke, and no one got it. It was when we were bringing a Christmas tree home, and I had to hold it in front of me because that's how I carry things.
Yeah.
I just because I couldn't see where I was going either. I was just trying to shout to Emma that we were on our way to go and kill Macbeth. She just did that thing where she like nods and laughs and then has no idea what I'm on about. And I think a joke has landed and it's really not. But I suppose that brings us to it's a bit of a little accidental segue to get us onto today. Andy, what's the name of today's chapter?
Well, are we going straight into today's chapter, or should we do the recap
Oh
first?
no, we did rehearse this, didn't we? All right, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, recap. Ah, shit, I've not got any music for the recap. We'll do some Space Battleship Yamato. People love
excellent. That. Hello, chat. By the way. Oh man, you already got figures running around in chat.
Oh, there's a couple around there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what theme we've got here, so let's just see what happens. All right.
Okay.
We've got 90 seconds to recap.
Okay. Wait, which one of us is doing it?
I'll do it, I guess. Join us on the adventures of the Pequod, which is a boat that our fella Ishmael is on. Ishmael is a guy who likes to go on boats. He gets paid to go on boats. He's ready to get out and go a-whaling, which is where you go on a boat and you batter a whale and come back with all its spermaceti, which you sell to rich people and you build America. Also on our voyage, we have Ishmael's best friend and husband, Queequeg, who is a cannibal and possible murderer. We will also be joined by Captain Ahab, who has a bad leg, and a leg that's not there as well. We will also be joined by lots of bones. The entire ship is covered in bones. That's all worth knowing. This is not like a song that is good for a recap. It's just some woman going, ah! Anyway, it's like a sadder version of Enya. And we're just about to set sail. Everyone's on the ship. We're about to fucking get real, and we've got 2 very short chapters, so that's why I've been very comfortable just chatting shit for 15 minutes. Oh shit! And now the boat's gonna depart, and they're gonna have a lovely time, and nothing bad will happen.
Nice.
Sorry, the song went absolutely apeshit at the end.
I assumed from that. Yeah, I can't hear the music, so I thought you were just getting really excited about these chapters.
Just imagining all the possibilities, Andy. I'm just thinking what could happen.
I thought that it had just occurred to you that they were about to head out on a ship.
So, with that, we will do a recap of... Well, not a recap. We'll do a read-through of what we wrote last chapter.
Yes.
And I will put us into the working mode now. I've not actually tested to see if this is right. Oh, also, I thought I removed all the Gokus from the chat. Fuck's sake, I thought I'd disabled them all. It's supposed to be only fish-related characters remaining. And I've just got so many Gokus as the little men.
People clearly want Gokus, judging by... Or is Goku just the default?
Hey, you might be by now after I removed all the non-fish characters. And we've got I got halfway through doing a sprite sheet for Ishmael, who is a sailor with flares on.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll start with Chapter 21.
Yes.
Going aboard.
Very good. I'll start until we get to Elijah, because then you can go full Elijah mode.
Very good.
It was nearly 6 o'clock and misty when we got to the wharf. There are some sailors running ahead here, I think. Oh shit, I thought that was Queequeg. There are some sailors running ahead there, I think, I said to Queequeg. I don't know, it's dark, I can't see very well, and I don't want to miss this boat. Let's run to be safe. We'll miss the boat. I was just about to break into a very fast and casual-looking jog when something stopped me in my tracks.
"Avast!" came a familiar voice from behind, a voice that filled me with dread, or if not dread, at least quite a bit of annoyance. I felt his hand on my shoulder, saw his other hand on Queequeg's, and then I saw his face, interposed between mine and my buddy's, peering from each of us in turn. It was that weird bastard Elijah from the other day. "Going aboard," he rasped.
Get your hands off me, you weird bastard, I said.
"Oi," said Queequeg, shaking himself. "Fuck off!" "Ain't going aboard then."
Yeah, we are actually, I said. Not that it's any of your beeswax, Elijah. And you know what? No offense, but you come across as a pretty impertinent guy, you know?
No, I was not aware of that," said Elijah, slowly and wonderingly looking from me to Queequeg, with the most mysterious look in his eye.
Elijah, I said, bugger off, will you? We're going to the Indian and Pacific Oceans and would prefer not to be detained.
"Ye be ye? Coming back afore breakfast?"
Back before breakfast? This guy clearly had no notion of how far away either of those oceans were. Back before bloody breakfast? What an idiot. Breakfast was only a couple of hours away. He's cracked, Queequeg, I said. Come on. We took a few steps and then heard Elijah screaming incoherently. I think he was trying to tell us to wait. Never mind him, I said. Queequeg, come on.
But he crept up to us again and suddenly clapping his hand on my shoulder said, "Did you see anything looking like men going towards the ship a while ago?"
It was a fair question, so I answered instead of going on my way. Yeah, I saw a few, maybe, I guess. I don't know. It was really dark. Still is, actually. Quite dim. I frowned.
Very dim, said Elijah. "Morning to ye." We turned and... Oh, you take it.
Okay, we turned and walked away again, but he caught up to us really fast and did that shoulder grab move again.
"See if you can find 'em now, will ye?"
"Find who?"
Morning to ye, he muttered again. Moving off. "Oh, I was gonna warn ye against... but never mind, it's all one, all in the family too." I've lost my Cockney accent there. "Sharp frost this morning, ain't it? Goodbye to ye. Shan't see ye again very soon, I guess, unless it's before the grand jury." And with this mad rambling finished, he finally departed, leaving me, for the moment, a bit confused. In the end,
we got to the ship. Hadn't missed it after all. And it was a bit quiet, actually. We went to the front of the ship and found a guy sleeping on his face.
I forgot about this.
It didn't look comfy, but he was snoozing away like a champ.
Remember when I thought I saw a load of sailors earlier? I wasn't seeing them now, just this one sleepy fella. Where could they all be hiding? Probably not in the chests this guy was blocking. That would be crazy. But I don't know where else they could have been, and I didn't quite know what to do next. My brain went running back over some of the weird stuff Elijah had been saying, like a dog that wants to go back to a weird smell on the side of the road when you're trying to take it for a walk. This particular smell that my brain was sniffing over right now, deposited by that weird guy, that smell, that's the smell of ghosts. What if I'd been seeing ghosts getting on board this ship covered in bones? That'd be spooky. To take my mind off the fear, I joked to Queequeg that maybe we should take it easy and post up with this snoozy sailor.
Queequeg nodded once, grunted, squeezed the sleeper's arse with his hands to check it for comfort. No keys or anything in pockets. And then sat on him, arse to arse.
Gracious, Queequeg, don't sit there, I said, trying not to giggle.
It's a very good seat, laughed Queequeg. This is what we do in my country. I won't hurt his face.
I misunderstood for a sec. What do you mean, face? I shouted. You're sat on his ass, you mad bastard! Get off him or he'll twitch you off! He'll wake up! He'll suffocate and die! Come on now, you've gone bananas!
Queequeg moved up onto the guy's back, and not knowing what else to do, I joined him and sat on the guy's calves. Queequeg lit his pipe. We kept the pipe passing over the sleeper from one to the other. We chatted a while, and Queequeg told me that in his land, owing to the absence of settees and sofas of all sorts, the king, chiefs, and great people generally were in the custom of fattening some of the lower class people for ottomans, like a footstool, but meaty. And to furnish a house comfortably in that respect, you had only to buy up 8 or 10 lazy fellows and lay them around on the piers and alcoves. Besides, it was very convenient on an excursion, much better than those garden chairs which are convertible into walking sticks. It wasn't unusual, he said, for a king or something like that to bring some big lads with him on a walk. And if he wanted to sit down, and it was maybe a bit marshy, he'd tell one of his little rotund guys to act like a seat for him. Completely normal, he said, laughing.
As we were talking and passing the pipe back and forth, I noticed that Queequeg kept brandishing his axe over the guy's head like he was ready to split him like an old pumpkin. I asked him why this was the case. It'd be really easy to kill this guy, wouldn't it? He laughed. Queequeg started telling stories about all the people he'd murdered with his axe pipe, all the blood it had spilled and all the smoke he'd sucked out of it. As we were chatting, the little room we were in began to really fill up with smoke. It was getting dense in there, which is probably why the guy we were sitting on started to cough and make noises like he couldn't breathe. We hopped off before he woke up, because he'd probably not be big fans of ours if he knew we'd been sitting on him. Much less talking about turning his head into a bloody canoe with the axe we kept dangling over it. He rolled over once or twice, then sat up and rubbed his eyes. "Hello there," he breathed at last. Who be ye, smokers?"
Men, answered I. When did she sail?
You're gonna be in her, be ye? She sails today. The captain came aboard last night.
Which captain? Ahab?
Is Ishmael also joking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad that we both decided to take that back.
Who but him indeed? I was going to say that it could have been Bildad or the other one, Peleg, but didn't see the point. Instead, I asked him some further questions concerning Ahab when we heard a noise on deck. "Oh, that'll be Starbuck stirring," said the rigger. "He's a lively chief mate, that good man and pious, but all alive now he must turn to." And so saying, he went on deck, and we followed. The deck was all busy, sailors doing sailor things, whalers doing whaley things, ropes and whatnot getting strung up, and everyone doing their part to help out. It was wonderful to stop and see. Meanwhile, Captain Ahab remained invisibly enshrined within his cabin. And that brings us over to chapter 22.
Yes.
Which you may be wondering, hey, why is Sam wearing this really comfortable looking scarf that's bad for the environment? And you may have also been wondering why I told a story about a Christmas tree and then tried to segue into it. And that's because chapter 22, it's Merry Christmas. So let's all just have a little Merry Christmas moment, a bit of Christmas cheer. There's the tinsel ASMR for you. Andy's got a Christmas tree, and we've got a
cracker.
Alright, ready for the cracker?
Cracker, yeah.
There's your big hand. And we'll go, oh. Fuck's sake, I didn't win it. I'll tell you what's in this hand.
yeah, I was going to say.
I never win these.
Didn't really plan for that, though.
Alright. Can crackers go off? That smells really bad.
It depends what's in it, I guess. Did you get one of those fish crackers?
Just with a dead fish inside it.
Well, it wasn't dead at Christmas.
It would be by now. Got a little hat.
A little hat? That's very
I can't
Christmassy.
put this on over my headphones, so I'll just put it there. What else we got? We got a... It's come with a green rectangle.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic toy hat. I love my Christmas green rectangle.
You're going to have to wait until next year to get the next colour.
I think it's got some instructions, but I choose not to read them. I'm happy enough with my rectangle. And Andy, it's time for a Christmas joke.
Oh.
Why should you never invite a team of footballers round for Christmas?
I mean, I know the honest answer. But please go ahead.
Too many people. There's a pandemic on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the correct answer is it's because they're always dribbling. And I think that's probably quite offensive towards footballers.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't know if this one's a joke because it says question and it's not funny. But it's, what's the last day of Christmas called?
I actually don't know. Can't remember.
It says Epiphany. Is this a joke?
Don't think so.
I hate it. I'm running out of Christmas. I'm hemorrhaging Christmas spirit right now after that one.
Let's hope that this is a real Christmassy chapter, though, to get us back into it. Yeah. I bet that lots of nice things are going to happen in this chapter of Moby Dick.
I'll almost guarantee it. I'll take that insurance bet.
Well, somebody in chat has posted a little. Somebody who's better at Twitch than us has found a Santa emote.
I want to do a Santa.
Yeah, how did you do that?
I've got a Christmas cake. There we go.
Whoa.
This is good shit. My Christmas spirit is returning. It's like someone's picking it up and putting it back inside me through a gaping wound. Like that scene in that film with the werewolves where they superglue that man's innards back together.
Oh. And then they say that's the true meaning of Christmas. Was that one of the Charlie Brown specials?
No, but they did say that's the original purpose of superglue. And I feel like that's probably why they made that film, was just to get that line in.
Yeah, I think that was actually the original.
No, I've researched it since. It was very informed. What was it? Dog Soldiers, I think it was called.
Oh, is it? It sounds like it's a documentary.
Basically, is at this point. Everything is really, because even though the things that happen in the film might not be true, the fact that it was made was true. So, in a way, nothing's fake.
Mind blown.
If you think about it.
Every movie I see from now on, this is going to change the way we view movies.
Everything is real. Except the X-Files.
Oh.
Alright. X-Files is unrealistic because the FBI do good things instead of inciting domestic terrorism. Sunday beef!
To be fair, it is two FBI agents who are constantly being told to stop what they're doing by the rest of the FBI, and they are trying to help people.
Get over here and plant evidence on this eco-activist organization. Get over here and give this guy a sack full of bombs to throw at a shopping centre in a poor neighbourhood. They'd do some really fucked up stuff. Anyway, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Let's read this MFer. At length, towards noon, upon the final dismissal of the ship's riggers, and after the Pequod had been hauled out from the wharf, and after the ever-thoughtful Charity had come off in a whale-boat, with her last gift, a nightcap for Stubb, the second mate, her brother-in-law, and a spare Bible for the steward, after all this, the two captains, Peleg and Bildad, issued from the cabin, and turning to the chief mate, Peleg said... Oh, Peleg's my guy, isn't he? Now, Mr. Starbuck, are you sure everything's all right?
Captain Ahab is all ready. Just spoke to him. Nothing more to be got from the shore. Hey, well, call all hands then, master. Aft. Muster 'em aft here. Blast 'em!
Whoa!
Christ, can I execute the crew?
No need of profane words, however great the hurry, Peleg, said Bildad. But away with thee, friend Starbuck, and do our bidding.
Okay, well, I think we'll take that one in very quick. So,
Yeah.
paragraph 1.
Any questions from this?
No, this all makes a lot of sense to me. I just thought it was very interesting how he couldn't fucking end a sentence here. After Charity had come off in a whaleboat with her last gift, a nightcap for Stubbs. Stubbs' the second mate, by the way, and also her brother-in-law. Oh, and also there was a spare Bible for the steward. So yeah, after all of that, I don't know his name, so I'm not going to put that. But after all that, then these other guys, they came out, and then they said that. it's Ishmael is overwhelmed.
As soon as he's got out to sea, he's a little bit overstimulated, which I guess we should have expected from all those other chapters where he was saying it's been too long since he's been out to sea.
Alright. Merry Christmas. So, at length towards him, he could have been hauled out from the wharf after Right. There were a few last things to be done on the ship before we got going. Mostly, this was Charity. Was Charity just someone's sister or cousin?
She's the nice lady who's been bringing stuff on board.
Charity, that nice lady from earlier. She was dropping off various gifts and knickknacks. How do you spell knickknack? Let's call them scrimscrams.
Okay. It's scrimscrams.
I think it's Swedish for knickknacks.
Isn't it? Yeah, like useless stuff, but it makes things look nice.
Yeah. Okay. Various gifts and nice things. Yeah. I like to overuse the word nice because there was that teacher that said that you should never use the word nice because it doesn't mean anything.
It's a very teacher thing to say.
Actually, it means a lot of things, so shut the fuck up. Strapping off various gifts and nice things for the crew, including was it a Bible first? I know, a nightcap.
Well, it's a nightcap. I mean, it's specifically
Is it a
for
drink
Stubb.
nightcap? Or?
And by the, I think it's an actual nightcap that you put on your head when you go to sleep at night. I mean, following the Chekhov's gun kind of rule, when you introduce a nightcap for Stubb in chapter 22,
it has to have gone off by chapter 100.
Yeah, he's going to have to have put it on by chapter 100, yeah.
And also, what is it? Brother-in-law. Nightcap for this guy called Stubbs. Nightcap, the hat type, not a drink. This guy called Stubbs, who was a second mate and also her brother-in-law. And also what was the other one? A Bible?
Hang on a sec, sorry.
Also a spare
Bible in case a whale eats the first one.
Yeah, for the steward, whose name and familial links I am hazy on. Then Peleg and Bildad came out and stood all official like. Right.
And then we get a bit of dialogue.
Yeah, we'll just copy paste that. I think that just works. I'm established sure everything's right. Ahab's all right. Just spoke to him. Peleg turned to... So Starbuck is not the guy they were sat on earlier. That was just some other guy.
That was some bloke who
Yeah.
didn't get named. Yeah, no, Starbuck's a cool dude.
Yeah. Peleg turned to the chief mate and said, "Ba ba 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 ba. Muster him after you blast him. No need of profane words. Do our bidding." I don't know why, but Bildad always seemed to phrase things in the most ominous way possible. Because do our bidding is quite ominous.
Quite ominous, yeah. It doesn't sound... yeah, no.
It's not a very friendly approach.
Yeah, I think if you've been in any kind of gainful employment and somebody takes you into another room and says, I'd like you to do my bidding, it doesn't suggest it's going to be
You're going to have
fun.
a bad time.
Yeah.
Almost guaranteed. Okay. Do you want to take this one?
Yes. Sorry, I was just fiddling around getting signed in.
Oh. Well, I'll take this one then.
No, that's all right. I'm up. How now? Here upon the very point of starting for the voyage, Captain Peleg and Captain Bildad were going it with a high hand on the quarter deck, just as if they were to be joint commanders at sea, as well as to all appearances in port. And as for Captain Ahab, no sign of him was yet to be seen. Only they said he was in the cabin. But then, the idea was that his presence was by no means necessary in getting the ship under way and steering her well out to sea. Indeed, as that was not at all his proper business but the pilot's, and as he had not yet completely recovered, so they said, therefore Captain Ahab stayed below. And all this seemed natural enough, especially as in the merchant service many captains never show themselves on deck for a considerable time after heaving up the anchor, but remain over the cabin table, having a farewell merry-making with their shore friends before they quit the ship for good with the pilot.
Okay, I think I get the gist here. He is saying, all very well, these guys coming up and giving it all the orders, they're not actually coming out with us. And I suppose it's because Ahab's really ill with his leg.
Yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, that's perfectly normal, because whenever I've been on ships before, the captains don't stay on deck.
Talking
Yeah.
like a pair of big important order givers, weren't they? At least for people who weren't actually going out to sea with us. Don't get me wrong. They probably know their stuff. But really, shouldn't Ahab have been the one up here shouting at everyone? Then I thought about it and remembered that his leg was bad. And that even if that wasn't the case, some captains just like to get drunk in their cabin. I've seen plenty of that in my time on boats. So really, it was all okay. I relaxed a little.
It's classic Ishmael, this, isn't it? He's just like...
"Ah!" And then thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's all good. But there was not much chance to think over the matter, for Captain Peleg was now all alive. He seemed to do most of the talking and commanding, and not Bildad. We don't even need that.
Aft here, ye sons of bachelors!
He cried as the sailors lingered at the mainmast.
Mr. Starbuck, drive him aft! Strike the tent there!
Was the next order. As I hinted before, his whalebone marquee was never pitched except in port. And on board the Pequod for 30 years, the order to strike the tent was well known to be the next thing to heaving up the anchor.
Man the capstan, blood and thunder, jump!
Was the next command, and the crew sprang for the handspikes. What's a handspike?
I'm picturing it as like a wooden thing with like a hook on the end, like a crowbar, but I could be way off.
Okay. I relaxed a little.
What's going on? Should we just say they're shouting a lot of orders?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Not for long, though. Because just then, all of a sudden, Peleg started yelling at everyone. Things like, not just... No, we'll drop in like the first couple of them. I have to hear you sons of bachelors, because I like sons of bachelors. He cried.
I like Sons of Bachelors. I think we should try bringing Sons of Bachelors back.
He cried as the sailors lingered at the mainmast. Everyone over there started running around, wild-eyed. Strike the tent there was the next order. As I hinted before, the whalebone marquee was the next order. Let's just get rid of all that.
Yeah.
I'd thought it was odd that there was a tent on deck to start with. So, I suppose that taking it down was like an official move into this. It's like an official,
Like a ritual.
Yeah. It was like a ritualistic reboatening of the vessel. Because
Good writing, isn't it? It's not leaving any questions. It's like, what if you don't want to get halfway through the book and be like, wait, what happened to the tent?
Man the capstan, blood and thunder, jump! And the crew did all these things.
I have to say, Sam, I'm not feeling that Christmassy so far. So
I'm not. I'm wondering what the Christmas link is.
I'm hoping it's going to take a turn at some point and we're going to get more Christmassy. Otherwise, we're going to start hemorrhaging viewers. We've really, we really egged up the Christmas part.
I've still got my hat on. That's a little bit of Christmas cheer still going in, isn't it?
Yeah. I've still got the tree here. I've still got Burnham Wood if I was making some kind of joke about it.
If you were going to go and kill Macbeth.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have a chance, would he?
Wouldn't see me come in.
He'd just be scared about Ents. Now, in getting underway, the station generally occupied by the pilot is the forward part of the ship. And here Bildad, who, with Peleg, be it known, in addition to his other officers... Why has he done that? You don't need that.
Yeah.
Just say Peleg and Bildad.
Yeah, the classic duo.
Yeah. P and B. Peleg, Bildad, and butter jelly sandwich.
They go together like a Peleg and Bildad butter sandwich.
Was one of the licensed pilots of the port, he being suspected to have got himself made a pilot in order to save the Nantucket pilot fee to all the ships he was concerned in, for he never piloted any other craft. Bildad, I say, might now be seen actively engaged in looking over the bows for the approaching anchor, and at intervals singing what seemed to be a dismal stave of psalmody to cheer the hands at the windlass, who roared forth in some sort of a chorus about all the girls in Booble Alley, with a hearty goodwill. Nevertheless, not 3 days previous, Bildad had told them that no profane songs would be allowed on board the Pequod, particularly in getting under way, and Charity, his sister, had placed a small choice copy of Watts in each seaman's berth. Andy, there's a lot of words in this paragraph.
I think he's implying that Bildad is trying to remind them to sing nice religious songs. But all the hands are still singing about the girls in Booble Alley.
Okay, oh no, this works. All right, so
Yeah.
the ship was getting underway. Is it way or way in modern talk?
I think we say underway, W-A-Y, but this
Yeah.
is obviously where it comes from.
Well, I'm
which is
going to
like-
say W-A-Y. The ship was getting underway. And anyone who knows ships knows that underway means it's time for singing. Now, Bildad was never much of a party man, in my experience. And he showed that today. He showed that at this time by singing some sort of boring religious song. Song and tutting at the sailors who were en masse raucously or uproarious, what's better?
I like raucous, because it sounds. I mean, he's saying they're roaring forth. So
How do you spell raucous? Raucously
A-U-K.
raucously roaring. The hit shanty of the time. The Girls of Booble Alley. Yeah, I think we don't need to know about what's the name. Charity putting Watts in their beds. I don't know what that is.
Nah.
Okay.
Okay. Meantime, overseeing the other part of the ship, Captain Peleg ripped and swore astern in the most frightful manner. I almost thought he would sink the ship before the anchor could be got up. Involuntarily, I paused on my handspike and told Queequeg to do the same, thinking of the perils we both ran in starting on the voyage with such a devil for a pilot. I was comforting myself, however, with the thought that in pious Bildad might be found some salvation, spite of his 777th lay, when I felt a sudden sharp poke in my rear. Turning round, was horrified at the apparition of Captain Peleg in the act of withdrawing his leg from my immediate vicinity. That was my first kick.
Okay.
so Bildad's trying to stop people from singing rude songs, and Peleg's running around swearing at everybody and kicking them.
Nice. Okay, right. So, I found myself somewhat comforted by this bizarre scene. There was us on a ship made of bones with heads full of dark prophecy and a crew singing rude songs, But somehow this pious little paragon of virtue called Bildad. Maybe we weren't all totally damned. If someone like that could put up with us, could, have a stake in this, stake in all this, then surely God wouldn't fuck us all up. Would he?
And this is immediately cutting to him getting kicked up the arse.
By now, I had stopped moving the capstan round and told Queequeg to do the same. I can't really think and do manual labor at the same time.
You didn't say that on the job interview.
Yeah. And I had quite some pondering to do. My leg. My leg almost exploded with some outside blunt force trauma slamming into them. I looked around and saw P-Leg's own leg dragging back across the deck towards him.
How long is his leg?
That's why they call him P-Leg. He's got elastic kick moves towards him. He was swearing at everyone, and especially at me. That was my first kick of the voyage.
And you've got a good bit of P-Leg shouting for you to do.
Ah, very good.
Is that the way they heave in the merchant service? He roared. Spring, thou sheephead, spring and break thy backbone. Why don't ye spring, I say, all of ye spring. Quahog, spring, thou chap with the red whiskers, spring there. Scotch cap, spring. Thou green pants, spring, I say, all of ye, and spring your eyes out.
And so saying, he moved along the windlass, here and there, using his leg very freely, while imperturbable Bildad kept leading off with his psalmody. Thinks I, Captain P-Leg must have been drinking something today.
And Ishmael wonders why he gets kicked.
I'm going to make it so he says that out loud. Just to make him more annoying.
Raises an eyebrow.
Okay, we can copy paste all of that yelling.
Yeah.
Not the way they heave in the marchand service, you know, spring now, sheephead, spring, break the backbone, march, spring, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, using his leg very freely, I liked that.
Mm.
Using his leg very freely. Meanwhile, Bildad was still... No, we don't need to cut back to Bildad, it's fine. I like the contrast, but we don't need it. We need the little quip in. This little fucking shitty Joss Whedon script moment. And instead of thinks I, it's going to be, at the end, it's going to be a methinks.
Nice.
Okay. Captain P-Leg must have been drinking something today, methinks. I quipped hilariously. My leg. I quipped hilariously as my leg went no, okay. Hilariously as my leg went completely numb. Alright. At last the anchor was up and the sails were set, and off we glided. It was a short, cold Christmas. Hey! How is that Christmas?
Christmas time! Yeah, I think that's as much Christmas as we're getting. Let's see, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
And as the short northern day merged into night, we found ourselves almost broad upon the wintry ocean, whose freezing spray cased us in ice as in polished armour. The long rows of teeth on the bulwarks glistened in the moonlight, and like the white ivory tusks of some huge elephant, vast curving icicles depended from the bows. Okay. I'm still confused. Is it literally Christmas?
I think it is Christmas,
Is it Christmas time in the book? Okay.
Yeah, Christmas time. And he's saying it's cold and there's icicles all over the ship. Which it is easy to forget, actually, because you remember he was slipping all
freezing,
around,
yeah.
and his toes were poking through his shoes when he was in New Bedford.
Okay, we can do something with that. Yep, okay. Finally, the anchor was up and the ship was moving. Anchor was up, the sails were set, and off we glided. Right. Anchor was up. So were the sails. And the ship was moving. It was almost enough to make you forget that today was Christmas. Nobody had gotten me a present.
Unless you counted those kicks.
But instead of a little box to open, I was about to open... Oh no, the little box to open. The world itself lay open before me.
Whoa.
Truly, the greatest present of all. And in that world, there were whales waiting for me to hack up. Okay.
I love that you're setting up the fact that everything terrible that's going to happen in this book is Ishmael's Christmas present.
Okay. It wasn't exactly a white Christmas. No snow or anything like that.
Wait, what? It is snowing.
He didn't say it was snow, he just said it's icy.
I'm pretty sure
gonna be
everywhere's
below
covered
zero.
in snow.
You think?
I reckon. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I guess he hasn't specifically mentioned snow, but
He would have
everywhere's
told
covered
us
in ice.
if it was snowing. He wouldn't be. It'd be fucking.
It's true. We would have had a chapter called Snow Time.
Basically, it wasn't exactly a white Christmas. No snow or anything like that. But it was bloody cold and bloody wet. And you know what that means? Weather fans. That means it was icy.
I think you've blown a few minds in chat with that one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Everything's a present if you think about it in a nice way like that.
I thought you were going to do it. That's why they call it the present type thing.
No time like the present.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, that's... Ah, shit. We've got to use that in something. There's no time like the present and no present like time. And that's why
Whoa.
everybody's getting a day off on Christmas.
Should we just pivot? Should we start doing a self-help
Christmas
book?
cards. Oh, and them.
And then, yeah.
Self-help Christmas cards sent to people that you think don't have it together very well.
Yeah. Get yourself together.
What the fuck? Just open it, instead of saying Merry Christmas, it just says, come on now.
5 tips for people who are fuck-ups.
You know, these probably exist in like an ironic way. You know, that
Probably.
edgelord greetings card type thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, do you know the Victorian thing with was it? I think it was Valentine's cards, and I think it was Christmas cards as well, where there was this big counter trend just when Valentine's cards were getting huge to send really insulting cards to people randomly. And I think they were called like vinegar Valentines.
Right.
But yeah, there's a huge thing. It's yeah, a bit mean, but yeah.
Okay.
We
We'll
can
just
bring that back.
pop on here. Massive icicles were forming on all the ropes and bones about the place, hanging down like big cold daggers, ready to take your eyes out if you look at them the wrong way. That's just that he's looking at them really close up. For a seasoned sailor like me, it was just business as usual. Business on Christmas Day. Okay.
You've made it more Christmassy than it was before.
I have. I
so
think
it's
we need to make
good.
it more Christmassy.
Yeah, let's get a bit more Christmas in.
Okay. Lank Bildad as pilot headed the first watch, and ever and anon, as the old craft deep dived into the green seas, sent the shivering frost all over her, and the winds howled and the cordage rang, his steady notes were heard. Sweet fields beyond the swelling flood. I don't know how Bildad sings.
I think he sings it probably to the tune of Easy by Lionel Richie.
Ah.
That's probably
But
easy.
in Bildad voice, though. Sweet fields beyond the swelling flood. And I'll stand dressed in green. So to the Jews, oh, Canaan stood. Well, Jordan rolled in between. Because I'm easy. Yeah.
I'm easy like a Sunday morning.
Just like one. Like a Christmas Sunday morning with icicles. You take the next one.
Okay. Never did those sweet words sound more sweetly to me then. They were full of hope and fruition. Spite of this frigid winter night in the boisterous Atlantic, spite of my wet feet and wetter jacket, there was yet, it then seemed to me, many a pleasant haven in store, and meads and glades so eternally vernal that the grass shot up by the spring, untrodden, unwilted, remains at midsummer.
Oh, wow. I thought this was a short chapter, but we're really
I think
making long work of it.
Weird again, the kind of like theory of you and Melville being on the same wavelengths with writing. I think he is getting at this idea that he's super excited and the whole world's laying before him, and that it's this eternal spring time.
Okay. Right. The winds howled. Howled. Howled is a really weird word to spell. Howled. The winds howled and the waves waved. And the sea splashed us. and the sea splashed at us. But all the time, right on the front of the ship, steering us through, was weird old Bildad singing a merry, optimistic, and religious tune. Cutting right through all the weather related atmos. Just completely disarmed that really nice piece of writing.
It's okay. You jazzed up the previous piece, so
Yeah, so we get to take some back.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't fully sure what he was actually talking about. But that's art for you, isn't it? It's not about the content. It's about how it makes you feel. And I was taking some time out from all that back-breaking labour to have a stand around and a feel. Losing myself to the words, to the music. Losing myself to the music. I felt optimistic. I felt like it wouldn't be long before I was off running and rolling around in verdant fields with a happy sky and loads of lovely food within easy reach. I let myself go there. Let myself go there in my mind. Away from this damp and cold body. Damp and cold body that imprisons it. Away from the ship made of bones. and the guy who kept yelling at me and kicking me. For just a moment, I was free. I was optimistic. Right. I mean, Melville's is better, but mine's simpler.
I like it.
Okay. At last we gained such an offing that the two pilots were needed no longer. The stout sailboat that had accompanied us began ranging alongside. We don't need to know about that. It was curious and not unpleasing how Peleg and Bildad were affected at this juncture, especially Captain Bildad. For loath to depart, yet very loath to leave. Loath to depart, yet very loath to leave. They're the same thing.
For loath to depart, yet, new sentence, very loath to leave. For good, shipbound son. Loath to say goodbye. Yeah, it's part of a list, so that's the first semicolon of a huge list.
Okay, we've got a list. Well,
Gotta have faith. Gotta have faith in Melville. When he starts a list, you've just got to dive
He's gonna
in.
complete that list.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Eventually, it was time for Bildad and Peleg to leave. They'd gotten us out of the harbour. Like, where have we been going?
It's just got out of port. This is like the piloting them just out of like the shallows, and then they're gonna leave.
Time for them to head back to land. Their little sailboat pulled up. And they got ready to go. Okay, so... It was curious but not unpleasing how they... Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Okay.
Alright,
Are you going to read through it first, or...?
I think we should read through it, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For loath to depart, yet very loath to leave for good a ship bound on so long a perilous a voyage, beyond both stormy capes, a ship in which some thousands of his hard-earned dollars were invested, a ship in which an old shipmate sailed as a captain, a man almost as old as he, once more starting to encounter all the all the terrors of the pitiless jaw, loath to say goodbye to a thing so every way brimful of every interest to him, poor old Bildad lingered long, paced the deck with anxious strides, ran down into the cabin to speak another farewell word there, again came on deck and looked to windward, looked towards the wide and endless waters, only bounded by the far-off unseen eastern continents, looked towards the land, looked aloft, looked right and left, looked everywhere and nowhere, and at last, mechanically, coiling a rope upon its pin, convulsively grasped stout Peleg by the hand, and holding up a lantern, for a moment stood gazing heroically in his face, as much as to say, "Nevertheless, friend Peleg, I can stand it. Yes, I can."
Whoa!
Okay.
Putting this in the self-help book.
So, he's basically having a real time trying to, come to terms with getting off the boat.
Doesn't want to leave. He goes around talking to everybody. He goes around looking at everything. And then eventually he holds Peleg by the hand. And they stare at each other.
And then they pull the lamp up. Holding
Yeah.
up the lantern. They just hold it up so they can see each other's faces.
Yeah, I think he's like showing him. He's like, "Look, I'm not upset. You're upset."
I'm not crying. It's hilarious, actually. I'm not mad. I'm laughing. Okay, so hold up, and they got ready to go. Peleg seemed all right, but there was something odd about old Bildad. He clearly didn't want to leave. So he spent time mucking about and double checking everything. He checked, and then we're going to go into the list. Right. Andy, do you want to give me the list and I will rephrase it? Okay.
Wait, are we going to... The list of things he does?
Yeah.
Okay, let's speed run this. So, we've got loath to depart. Have you got that already?
Yeah.
Very loath to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Which bit did you finish on, sorry?
Basically, I just said he clearly didn't want to leave, so he spent time mucking about and double-checking everything. He checked. So it's like the physical acts he takes.
So, I guess we're shifting it a little bit, but we're saying he checked the deck.
Actually, yeah, we are changing it way too much.
It's all right. We can do that.
Okay, wait, no. So he spent time looking at checking. Okay, wait. He clearly didn't want to leave. It wasn't just a boat. Here is a list of things it also was. Okay.
So, I guess the deck...
Well, no, because there's... Okay, let me just see if I can find one of these. So, it was...
Oh, I see.
It's a ship bound so long a voyage.
It's the 1,000 earned dollars he's
yeah,
invested.
okay, cool. All
okay.
Right. It wasn't just
I see what you're getting at now.
A ship on a ship set. So what's the first one? It's going on a big old trip.
Ship bound on a long and perilous voyage.
A very long and perilous voyage.
A ship in which some thousands of his hard-earned dollars were invested.
A ship with thousands of his dollars. Dollars. Dollard. Fuck's me.
Dollars.
Can't fucking type. Thousands of his dollars invested in it.
A ship in which an old shipmate sailed as captain.
A ship with an old buddy in it.
And in parentheses, probably this bit, an old buddy almost as old as he, once more starting to encounter all the terrors of the pitiless jaw.
Oh my god. Ship
Yeah.
with an old buddy. Wait. Okay. I'm going to go back to the one with the ship with an old buddy. So, ship with an old, brackets, almost as old as he, close brackets, buddy in it, open bracket, the captain, close bracket.
Okay, good.
And, okay, so then we're talking about that buddy again.
Yeah. Well, he's saying once more starting to encounter all the terrors of the pitiless jaw.
Okay, now we can throw that onto the same line then.
Yeah.
A ship with an old buddy in it who was set to revisit all the... What's the line?
Once more starting to encounter all the terrors of the pitiless jaw.
Okay. All the terrors of the pitiless jaw. Uh-huh.
And then new part of the list. But this is just summarizing. Loath to say goodbye to a thing so every way brimful of every interest to him. So it's full of everything that's important in his life.
A ship with everything important in his life.
Oh man, this whole story is actually just a tragedy about Bildad.
Yeah?
And then that's kind of the end of that bit of the list, but we're about to start a list of things Bildad does
Yes,
to
okay.
express his anguish.
To
Poor old Bildad lingered long, and then new semicolon.
to express this anguish,
he
poor old Bildad lingered long and
paced the deck with anxious strides.
paced the deck with, anxious strides.
Ran down into the cabin to speak another farewell word there.
Into the cabin to say goodbye a few more times.
Again came on the deck and looked to windward.
Came back on deck and looked windward.
And now we're into a new list. This is the excellence of Melville's writing that we can have. We're on to the third list in this paragraph, but it feels just so natural. So he's looked to windward, then, new bit of the list, look towards the wide and endless waters, only bounded by the far-off, unseen eastern continents.
I don't think I will make it a new list. We're still just talking about the things he's doing physically.
Okay,
So, yeah, this is just his moves.
this is just his moves. He's looked to windward,
He's looked windward, and now he's looked...
left.
He looked
Then
left.
he looked right and left, sorry.
He looked left. He looked right.
Then he looked everywhere and nowhere.
He looked everywhere.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. I skipped a bit before he does that. So he looks towards the wide and endless waters after he's looked to windward.
Okay.
Then he looks towards the land.
I'm just going to add back to that, but endless waters.
Then he looks aloft.
Uh-huh.
Then he looks right and left.
What's aloft? Is that up?
Just up. He looks up.
Okay. That's where aloft's
Where
up.
presumably some guys are standing, because, you know.
He looked left, he looked right, he looked everywhere, he looked nowhere.
and at last, mechanically coiling a rope upon its pin, convulsively grasped stout Peleg by the hand, and holding up a lantern for a moment, stood gazing heroically in his face.
He wrapped a rope around its pin.
Yeah.
He wrapped his own hand around Peleg's. Oh. He held up a lantern so that his face could be seen. And he wasn't crying. And then he said... Oh, wait, no, sorry. He and Peleg stared at each other for a bit.
And then he says, "Nevertheless, friend Peleg, I can stand it. Yes, I can."
Is nevertheless all one word?
Yes.
Nevertheless. Nevertheless, old friend Peleg, I can stand it. Yes, I can.
You son of a bachelor. And then they clasp hands and their biceps bulge.
With that, I'm assuming they get in the boat.
Yeah,
Ask
they're
Peleg
about to,
himself.
but that's going to be a new paragraph that we haven't read.
Oh, that's true. Okay. As for Peleg himself, he took it more like a philosopher. But for all his philosophy, there was a tear twinkling in his eye when the lantern came too near, and he too did not a little run from cabin to deck, now a word below, and now a word with Starbuck, the chief mate. But at last he turned to his comrade, and with a final sort of look about him, "Captain Mildad, come, old shipmate, we must go back to the main yard there." Boat ahoy! Stand by to come close alongside now. Careful, careful. Come, Bildad, boy, say your last. Look to ye, Starbuck. Look to ye, Mr. Stubb. Look to ye, Mr. Flask. Goodbye and good luck to ye all. On this day 3 years I'll have a hot supper smoking for ye in old Nantucket. Hurrah and away!
Oh.
That hurt my throat.
Yeah, probably a good job that Peleg's leaving the book for you.
Well, I don't know how Ahab's going to sound. We've got so many more sailors to have to figure out voices for.
I mean, I think he's been played by Gregory Peck and Patrick Stewart, and they're quite easygoing on their throats, I would say. Yeah.
So we'll do Patrick Stewart for Ahab then.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, alright. Alright,
You're going to copy and paste. I like that it's like, Peleg took it like a philosopher. He had a good cry.
Peleg took it all a little bit more sensibly. Like a philosopher. I don't know what he means by that. Like a philosopher.
Like a stoic, I guess. Like you don't have to, you don't freak out like Ishmael does about everything every second.
A philosopher who isn't afraid to cry. Right. I'm not going to put in the part where he also runs around talking to people. We've covered that.
No, we've covered it. It's done.
Yeah, we're done with the lists. Alright. He turned to Starbuck. And with that...
Have you already copied and pasted the bit of dialogue where he turns to Bildad? Oh, yeah.
And with that... I forgot that he speaks to Bildad. But at last he turned to the camera... Oh, okay.
So where he starts yelling.
Yeah. And with that, Peleg offered a few words of support to his old pal. Captain Bildad, come old shipmate, we must go. And then he just goes straight into yelling mode.
Yeah. Maybe you should say that directly in the text, then he just starts screaming.
Come old shipmate, we must go. He whispered. Before going full yelling mode at the rest of the ship. And we copy paste. Back the main yard there. I like hurrah and away. I think that's very good.
That's
Oh, God. Okay.
Good way of leaving a Skype call.
Alright, this is you. We've got some nice Bildad lines.
Excellent. God bless ye and have ye in his holy keeping, men, murmured old Bildad, almost incoherently. He must I wish I'd known that before I delivered the line. I hope you'll have fine weather now, so that Captain Ahab may soon be moving among ye. A pleasant sun is all he needs, and you'll have plenty of them in the tropic voyage you go. Be careful in the hunt, you mates. Don't stave the boats needlessly, ye harpooneers. Good white cedar plank is raised full 3% within the year. Don't forget your prayers either. Mr. Starbuck, mind that Cooper don't waste the spare staves. Oh, the sail needles are in the green locker. Don't whale it too much a Lord's days, men. But don't miss a fair chance either. That's rejecting heaven's good gifts. Have an eye to the molasses, Terse, Mr. Stubb. It was a little leaky, I thought. If you touch on the islands, Mr. Flask, beware of fornication. Goodbye, goodbye. Don't keep that cheese too long in the hold, Mr. Starbuck. It'll spoil. Be careful with the butter. 20 cents a pound it was. And mind ye if...
Come, Bildad, stop palavering. Away!
And with that, Peeler carried him over the side, and both dropped into the boat. Oh, it's like how scuba divers just come off the side of the boat.
Yeah, these two old men. It's just backflip.
Ship and boat diverged. The cold, damp night breeze blew between. A screaming gull flew overhead. The two hulls wildly rolled. We gave 3 heavy-hearted cheers and blindly plunged like fate into the lone Atlantic.
Nice.
Very good. Right,
Yes.
so we can just
Probably
copy-paste.
copy-paste that.
Right. Stop palavering away, and then they do a sweet roll.
Yes.
We'll change dropped to drophead. Alright, and then we've got that last part. That works. I just can't be asked to rewrite that. And I think it's nice enough as it is.
It's good.
Okay, and that's a chapter done. Merry Christmas.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
sir.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's taken us an hour and a half to do that chapter.
Yeah, it was lengthy. I thought we were going to get to
I thought
this
we were
really
gonna
short
these.
one, but you know what? I don't think we will.
That can be an exciting one for next time, and it can be an exciting one because everybody's favourite character, Bulkington.
Woo! Bulkington!
Yeah!
Bulkington's
Bulkington!
Bulkington's
Yes!
going to be back in the book for 3
Oh
paragraphs.
shit, I tried to zoom in. I tried to zoom in on the word Bulkington and I just zoomed in on Kiss the Nose.
That's also exciting. Get excited for that.
Get excited, folks. It's Christmas, it's Bulkington, and it's nose kissing season.
We're sorry this chapter wasn't that Christmassy, but your present for next time is that there's going to be some Bulkington.
I mean, I think that's all anybody's ever wanted since he's first showed up. Handsome old Bulkington, the most popular sailor in Nantucket. He'd be played by Henry Cavill, wouldn't he?
Yes, he definitely would.
That'd just be perfect.
So you need to maybe pull up some pictures of him for when we read out in the next chapter.
I'll make a Bulkington collage.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Well, I think that's probably us done for today. The hangover that I didn't think I had today, it turns out I do. So I'm eager to stop.
Right. Oh, I bet that long speech that I just did as Bildad really helped with that.
It was very good, actually. But yeah, just because we're about to play something I'm quite happy with right now, please don't stop watching just because we've stopped the... Wait, not because we've stopped the stream. Just because we're not on it. We did an animated intro and an outro, and I hope it will continue to be playing okay and won't just crash my computer when I press the button. So I will say thanks for being here. I'm probably going to go and drink about 3 pints of water and have a lie down. But
Sounds
in the
good.
meantime, I'm going to make these waves a bit louder. And please enjoy my graphic design skills, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Look at that, he's ascending out of the water. This big boy.
I'm on a delay, so I'm going to have to wait.
Oh, you get to appreciate it later on. Look at that. That's why they pay me the big bucks at graphic design. the graphics factory. Mesner says, these waves are the best. Did you know they're only a little circle? They're not real waves. It's not a photograph of the ocean. I made those. It's like a little Sonic the Hedgehog spinning around backwards. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to press the stop stream button. I'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.